In a move that sent shockwaves through Washington and beyond, President Donald Trump ordered the dismissal of several high-ranking military officials. This unprecedented shakeup came late Friday and immediately ignited a firestorm of controversy. The president, known for his unconventional approach to leadership, offered no public explanation for his decision. However, insiders speculate that this move reflects Trump's long-standing grievances with the military's direction. This is not the first time Trump has clashed with the Pentagon. Throughout his presidency, he has repeatedly criticized military leadership, often questioning their strategies and accusing them of being out of touch. The president's rhetoric has often been harsh, painting a picture of a military bogged down by bureaucracy and more concerned with political correctness than national security. The timing of these dismissals is particularly noteworthy. With global tensions rising and the international order in flux, the removal of seasoned military leaders raises concerns about stability and continuity. Critics argue that this move injects unnecessary chaos into an already volatile landscape. The president's supporters, however, view this as a bold and necessary step towards reclaiming American strength. They applaud Trump for challenging the status quo and demanding accountability from the military establishment. Only time will tell what the ultimate consequences of this shakeup will be. One thing is certain: the American military, and indeed the world, is watching closely. Among the dismissed officials are several prominent figures who have dedicated their lives to serving the nation. General Charles C.Q. Brown, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, was the first African American to hold this prestigious position. His removal, less than 2 years into his 4-year term, shocked many in the defense community. Admiral Lisa Franchetti, another casualty in this shakeup, was a trailblazer in her own right. As the top U.S. Navy officer, she broke barriers and served as a role model for women in the armed forces. Her dismissal further fuels concerns about the lack of diversity at the highest levels of military leadership. General Jim Slife, the Vice Chief of Staff of the U.S. Air Force, was also relieved of his duties. A highly decorated officer with decades of experience, Slife was known for his strategic thinking and deep understanding of air power. The dismissals of Brown, Franchetti, and Slife represent a significant loss of experience and expertise for the U.S. military. These individuals were not simply figureheads; they were instrumental in shaping military strategy, advising the president on matters of national security, and overseeing the day-to-day operations of the armed forces. Their sudden removal raises questions about the future direction of the U.S. military and the president's vision for national security. While the White House has not provided a formal explanation for the dismissals, speculation is rife. Many believe that this move is directly linked to President Trump's long-standing criticism of what he calls woke generals. Trump has repeatedly accused the military of being too focused on political correctness and pushing a woke agenda, particularly when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI) initiatives. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, a staunch Trump ally, has echoed these sentiments. He has publicly called for a shift in military culture, arguing that the emphasis on DEI has come at the expense of combat readiness. Hegseth, along with other conservative voices, believes that the military should prioritize warfighting capabilities over social engineering. Trump's campaign promises offer further clues into his motivations. During his rallies, he frequently railed against the deep state and promised to root out what he perceived as liberal bias within government institutions, including the military. The recent dismissals can be seen as a fulfillment of these campaign promises, signaling Trump's determination to reshape the military in his own image. The president's actions have reignited the debate over the role of the military in a democratic society. Critics argue that Trump's purge of top military officials undermines civilian control of the military and erodes trust in the institution. They fear that Trump is politicizing the military for his own gain, potentially damaging its nonpartisan reputation. In the wake of these dismissals, President Trump has moved swiftly to install new leadership. He nominated Lieutenant General Dan Caine to replace General Brown as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Caine, an F-16 pilot with a background in special operations and intelligence, is seen as a loyalist who will align with the president's vision. Little is known about the other individuals tapped to fill the vacant positions. However, it is widely believed that they share the president's views on military priorities and will toe the line on issues like DEI and wokeness. This changing of the guard represents a significant shift in military leadership, one that is likely to have profound implications for U.S. national security policy. Trump has made it clear that he wants a military focused on deterring, fighting, and winning wars. He has expressed skepticism towards multilateralism and alliances, preferring a more unilateral approach to global affairs. The president's vision for the military is one that is leaner, meaner, and less encumbered by what he sees as unnecessary bureaucracy and political correctness. The reactions to these changes have been predictably divided. Trump's supporters applaud his decisive action, arguing that he is restoring the military to its core mission of fighting and winning wars. They believe that the emphasis on DEI has weakened the military, and that a return to traditional values is necessary. Critics, however, express deep concern about the future of the U.S. military under this new leadership. They worry that Trump's focus on loyalty over competence will erode the military's effectiveness and undermine its nonpartisan traditions. The world watches and waits, uncertain of what the future holds for the U.S. military and its role on the global stage.